Alright, so as you can see, I already opened up this this speaker here, but for this video, I'm not going to really mess with this speaker at all, because all we're going to replace is these plastic side pieces that connect to the headband. And the reason why I don't want to show anything about that is because the only reason you're going to want to mess with that is if you have something wrong with this swivel piece. So if the most likely thing is if this piece right here is broken, then you're going to have to mess with the speaker, because you're going to have to take this out and replace that. But luckily, if one of your side pieces is broke, like as you can see right there, all you're going to have to do is just follow along with this video. So first things first, all you're going to need for this thing, is a flathead screwdriver. And I'm not going to mess with this side too much. I'm just going to basically show you how to do it on this side. So first thing you want to do is just take out these two screws right here. And it's not too hard to do this. The reason why this video is probably a little bit easier than some other ones is basically just because you don't have to do any soldering, which helps a lot, because then you don't have to take apart the whole speaker, all that, because that can take a little bit more time and can be a little bit more frustrating, especially with the smaller solder points on speakers. So just put these aside right here. I also do have another video if your swivel is broken, so check that out. Like I said, it takes a little bit more work, but it can be done. So as you can see there, I just kind of pop this thing right in the center of these two things to pull it off. And you can do that with any screwdriver. I was just kind of lazy, so I just use the same one. I mean, some people use flatheads because that's a little bit easier. So then what I'm doing here, sorry, is I have this big plastic piece right here, and it might kind of mess with the headband a little bit, because you're going to have to push this up a little bit just to get this off. But once you do that, this thing's connected, it's just kind of snapped on. So I'm just trying to find here exactly where it snaps on, and then you have to just kind of pull it right off. And this kind of takes a little bit of time. And I don't want to break anything, so I kind of have to find exactly where I want to try to start unsnapping this. So there we go. I found that point right there. So as you can hear, it'll just kind of start snapping off. So there you go. As you can see, I'm pulling this thing right off. But like I said, be careful, because these can break easily just because they're plastic. There we go. I got the other side now. And all I got left is this piece up top. As you can see, I'm just replacing the side that's already fixed. This is just obviously for educational use. I'm not actually doing a repair. I would be doing it on this side, but I'm just taking the parts off this one. So okay. So now that we got that snapped off, you can still see that it's still kind of on the headband, which is a good thing. That means it's still working and together. It's attached up here, stuck in the headband. There we go. But like I said, yeah, it's attached at the top here. And I can't really show that very well, but there's this little clip, and you just have to kind of push that out. See that right there? So just push that right out. It's just kind of a safety mechanism that they have on there, and then you get this piece off. Put that aside. That usually doesn't break, so you're going to want to use that later. Then after that, depending on what's broken on these, sometimes if it's just this inside piece right here, all you're going to want to do is just unscrew these, and I'll show that next because that's the next step. Leave this part on for now. I'll show you later that this piece and this piece are connected, and if you're replacing this, you might as well just replace this because that's a lot easier than trying to replace the whole thing. But I'll talk a little bit more about that later. At first, let's take off these 4 screws. It's kind of hard for me to show that. Yeah, alright. So yeah, I'm just taking off these 4 screws right here. Doesn't take a lot of effort. Just don't strip the screws like it sounds like I'm doing. Trust me, the last thing you want to do is strip a screw. Okay, so got that one off. You can fast forward through this part if you don't want to watch me take out screws, because it's pretty easy. I'm sure you've done it before if you're watching this. Alright, so after you get those screws out, the only thing you can really do to take off these 2 other pieces is really just to pull. And make sure all your other components are in the right place, because this does take a little bit of force. And I know the first time I tried pulling them off, I didn't have everything secured, and parts flew everywhere, and I pretty much broke it. So just a forewarning here. I mean, I got it down pretty easily now, so I can just pop these off. But like I said, remember it takes a little bit of effort. So I guess comes the second piece here. I just kind of have to pry it right off, and there you go. And then you got this piece off. And usually this is the one that breaks for sure, but this one also seems to break pretty easily too, because you know they're pretty damn close to each other. So just put these away. You know, if you broke them, throw them out. They're useless now. Then all you're gonna want to do basically is take this wire right out of here and try to keep as much insulation as possible. As you can see, I didn't do that already, but it's just kind of a good thing to keep this insulation on here. Let me try to find a flathead here, because I kind of like pry that off. There we go. As you can see right here, this is kind of a problem. What you can do is you can actually poke a little hole in this plastic if you feel comfortable doing that, and then you won't have to do anything with the wire. But if you don't want to do that, because it is kind of risky, because you may break the whole thing, you're going to need to mess with the speaker a little bit. The good thing about this side is that there's only a red and a ground here. So it's a pretty easy solder. It just requires a little bit of effort, because you're going to have to go in there and you're going to have to take out this wire. And I can post a video about that later, but this is just basically describing how to take it apart. For an assembly video too, I'll also post that. And I'll just be basically starting from this point and basically taking apart this whole inside speaker and then basically reassembling it. Alright, thanks.